Good afternoon and good evening to you. It's the weekend, guys. It's Friday the 3rd of July, and today's show is a very light one. It's a light-hearted one. I thought I'd give things a break a little bit, switch topics a little bit. It's still a relevant topic, however, it's a light one. Guys, without further ado, let's get down to it. So, guys, my topic today is to advise those of you who reside in the fake news bubble. I call it the right-wing bubble. There's an expert here that I'm going to feature on this video that she calls it an echo chamber. I've heard it called that before. Basically, I'll explain after the video, basically. But she calls it an echo chamber. I call it the right-wing bubble. That supply chain is about to run out, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't know what you guys are going to do when Trump leaves power. There's no need to he's not got the microphone every day or the Twitter every day pushing fake news, and no one's listening anymore anyway, other than those diehards, we want him back sort of people. So guys, you're on notice. Your right-wing supply chain of fake news, my friends, is coming to an end. But in the meantime, this is how people look at you guys. Take a look at this.
Have you ever laughed this much at a president?
I know. We thought, Bush was a tragedy / comedy. Boy, did we have another tragedy / comedy headed in our direction. Last quote, because all of these are fun, because now the dissension has begun, full steam ahead. I mean, not to mix analogies here, as the ship is sinking, the rats are not only jumping off the ship, but they're stabbing each other on the way. Okay, like in midair as they're jumping off the ship, they're like, right? So here's a quote from a West Wing official. There's something off about Trump.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Just realizing it.
Yeah, but then in Trump's mind, the last part might be even worse. Quote, he doesn't have the stamina.
Low energy. Oh, it's so good.
So this is what it's come to. And in the final days of their Armageddon, looking around going, it's him. In fact, one person, definitely on Pascal's squad, if he has a squad, it might have been Pascal himself. They said, well, Tulsa, we gave Trump 6 options. Trump's the one who picked Tulsa. Uh-oh. I mean, if you start saying that stuff in the press, you are definitely a goner. Of course, it's always Trump's fault. He's the original idiot. But if you tell him that, he's not gonna have you around for much longer. I can't wait for him to fire everyone and be the last person sitting by himself in the Oval Office. And the very last person he says his trademark you're fired to in November is him. He's like, I'm fired.
Well, welcome back, guys. No, literally, you see how they laugh at that guy? The whole world does that. I mean, the sane world, not you guys. The sane world, those who are outside of the echo chamber or outside of the right-wing bubble. That's how we see you all. That's how we see you all. I remember saying to a group I was on the other day, not to put Trump and Hillary Clinton or Obama in the same sentence. I was so peed off that they were trying to do that because I'm saying these people are different to who this Trump is, and they were saying no, they're all the same. There's no difference between them. I don't see that was their little way of trying to show support for Trump. They think I didn't know. But all you guys who support Trump and think Trump is on something, he's onto something, like he's gangster or whatever it is that makes black people kind of, my black friends as well anyway, want to like this guy, your supply chain is coming to an end. Guys, let me move on to a report. There was a report done by a lady called Joan Donovan, and she was requested, is the word I was searching for, by Harvard University in America. And the report basically looks into fake news and how where you get your news from determines who you are. Take a look.
People who watch conservative media are also more likely to believe conspiracy theories about the seriousness of the disease being exaggerated or that it was spawned as a weapon in China. We should note the study only shows correlation, not causation. Joining me now is the co-editor of that report, Joan Donovan, co-editor of the Misinformation Review at the Harvard Kennedy School. Joan, good to have you on tonight because these numbers are fascinating. So first, let's start with the big picture here. How much does a person's choice of where they get their news affect their broad understanding of COVID-19?
Yeah, so I just want to say thanks for having me. And the study that we're discussing was produced out of the University of Pennsylvania and is available on the Harvard Kennedy School Misinformation Review website. But you're right to say that if someone is consuming a bunch of homogenous media or failing to access a diversity of sources, then they do tend to end up in what we call an echo chamber. And in that echo chamber, there can be polarizing politics as well as bias in the media. And so recent studies that have come out related to media bias are showing that people who are tuning into Fox News are getting a different story.
So guys, look, there's a phrase I like to use quite often, which is today's times, like if you listen to Fox News, you feel like you're in another world entirely. When you listen to Trump talk about injecting disinfectant, you think, what? But people did listen to that stuff. And I have a favorite saying that with this issue, especially with the group I was in, for some reason, these guys feel like they are the sane ones. So my saying is, I feel like I'm talking to people in an asylum who are behind the fence of the asylum on the inside, and I'm outside in the real world, and they're pointing fingers at me saying, you don't know anything, we know it all, you're being fooled. That's really how I see these guys. Take a look, guys.
Are getting a different story entirely about the risks posed by COVID-19.
Okay, let's talk about something specific, mask wearing, how that has become political. What does the research show about how Fox News and others contribute to the polarization over wearing masks, how they report the need for that and the effect of that?
When it comes down to it, the way in which news is created has a lot to do with the leadership, and the political leadership right now is not wearing masks in public, not advocating that people wear masks, so that when you do watch a program and you are, tuning in and Trump is saying, a mask, I'm not going to wear that, it does tend to have what we call media effects or trickle-down effects, where it really isn't necessarily just about the mask, it's really about people's perception of risk. And they perceive risk differently based on the information that they get.
It really does affect people. With all seriousness, I was one of the first platform to call out 4 countries: Brazil, US, UK, and Russia. Okay, 4 countries who have right-wing governments, who don't believe anything, who walked about shaking as it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. And then I identified other countries that are left-leaning or center governments. And I called this when the US death rate was at something like 1,200. When our death rate was something like 900. I called it way back then. It's transpired UK has the largest per capita, and they are still hiding the death rate. They're still calling it 40,000+. I think it's closer to 70,000, my people. Yeah? We've heard 50,000. I think it's closer to 70 because they have been underestimated. The US right now, they're heading for 128. Brazil's heading into a disaster. The same ideology that is killing those people, a lot of my friends here have that same ideology. And I've stopped telling them, fighting with them. So what I have to say to you guys, if they tell you to lock down, disobey them. Don't wear any masks. Just go out there, go home and shake hands with all your people, because that's where you want to live. Take a look at the last video.
Okay, another issue, of course, the president has repeatedly touted hydroxychloroquine, anti-malarial drug, which since then has been shown to not have a positive effect in terms of treatment. Did you see people changing their behaviors as they heard from the president and others touting this?
Yeah, I wrote an article about this for Nature, and when I was looking into the problem of early signs of different treatments, hydroxychloroquine was on the list, but it was actually not the leading drug that doctors and physicians and researchers were looking at. So it was surprising to see the first coverage of it on Fox News as this positive, really blowing it way out of proportion, the ability for this drug to act proactively as a protective agent. And as a result, people did start changing their behaviors. We saw immediately a spike in searches for hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine, and as a result, someone did actually pass away by ingesting chemicals that had it in the list of ingredients. And I'll make one other point, which is that pharmacists and doctors started to become alarmed at the rate by which people were prescribing and hoarding this drug, and it really affected the medical supply for people with lupus and other diseases that required this medicine.
Yeah, there's a big national stockpile of it.
Welcome back, guys. Who thinks it doesn't affect people? I know you think it doesn't. You probably think all those deaths are actors and they're all going to stand back up and wake back up. But guess what? You're affecting real people. They stockpiled hydroxychloroquine that Trump couldn't even pronounce and still can't pronounce it. He decides to take it. His advice. I watched a doctor on CNN report that people knew in their heads that you can't inject bleach. So they thought, but he might be onto something, so let me gargle bleach. So they took bleach and they gargled it. Hundreds ended up in hospital with charred esophaguses. Or esophagus, I don't know if that's the right word. But they ended up with charred esophagus. They ended up with charred stomach lining and stuff. If you guys think fake news doesn't affect people, good luck. However, you've been warned. Trump's on his way out. You saw the beginning of the video. He's getting backstabbed by all the people like you that supported him. That 4 year we're onto a good thing here. Now they can see he's heading for disaster. Now they can see their Senate seats are about to be lost. They can see their House of Representative seats are about to be lost. Now they're all abandoning ship and stabbing each other in the back like they said in the video. You know what? When they all leave and they're all been voted out, you know who will be left standing? You, the guys I know, you, my friends, you're the ones going to be left standing. You'll have no more fake news supply chain. And then you're going to look at yourselves in the mirror and say, what did I do these last 4 years? How could I have been fooled? Well, Spencer warned you, but you didn't take heed. Guys, weekend's here again. I'm going to be out there picking the best views and information and news for you guys on the BLM marches. We're gonna smash it, guys. Tons of progress over this last week, more progress to come next week. Stay tuned. And last thing, we are coming live pretty soon, so keep an eye out on my Facebook page as well as on the videos, and I'll bring you guys up to speed with what we're planning. But it's going to be fabulous. You're going to be able to ask me questions. We're going to be able to interact. It's going to be a live feed, and it will probably be for an hour. Okay? And if it's successful, we will do it twice a week. But at the moment, I'm looking at Sundays only. Okay? So it might be as early as next week, guys. So stay tuned and keep in touch. In the meantime, look after yourselves. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.